exposure that I don't pay you. Expect us to chip in. I told you before, the idols are trying to build a post-capitalist society where money is not a concept. Yeah? Why don't you go out for 20 minutes? I'm in the shower. Are you gonna help me get the law? You're wearing the fucking okay.
Oh man. You ever wondered what it would look like for a game studio to commit seppuku? Y'all, after 8 years of people expressing their disgust with all the social justice riffraff being force-fed to gamers, what on God's green earth made any of you think that taking a politically incorrect Grand Theft Auto super clone and turning it into Dustborn Vice City was a good idea?
And he said it seemed to be a good idea at the time.
And don't give me any of that modern audience garbage, okay? An audience for this game does not exist, and never has, aside from guys like me who buy bad games like this on purpose so I can make fun of them on YouTube. The people who actually care about how many black to white to Asian to straight to gay to trans people are in a video game, yeah, they don't actually play video games, aside from walking simulators like Gone Home or Life is Strange. They certainly don't play open-world sandbox crime games that's so crammed full of DEI slop it should have been called Feminist Frequencies Row.
I'm not a fan of video games. I actually had to learn a lot about video games in the process of making this.
The minute I started building my character, I made him look as much like Stone Cold Steve Austin as I could, selected the most country redneck sounding voice option the game had, deepened it down to mid-40s range, and dressed him in a David S. Pumpkins suit just to distract me from all the lame and suck pouring from every pixel on screen. This is a full-on reboot. It completely abandons the story of the original 3rd Street Saints, abandons the setting, abandons the boss, abandons everything but the fact that it's a sandbox game where you're part of a crime gang, and replaces it with an identity politics checklist of characters and plot tropes. You see a whole group of DEI pals, none of whom look like they ever spent a second in the drunk tank, much less committed an actual crime, crammed together in a rather spacious-looking apartment while they complain about how little money they have, their student loans, you know, the stuff that makes any of you over 35 hate social media.
I have had enough of you!
Eventually, I just turned up the stereo and muted the game. It was just too damn annoying. The gist of the plot is a bunch of self-centered yuppie larvae who don't think life is fair and turn to heists to fast-track their road to the good life, and end up running afoul of other larger crime interests. If you picked up any more than that, you were giving this game levels of your attention that it just simply did not earn.
Now, this three-dimensional sculpture in particular is quite exquisite. Its simplicity, its bold, stark lines. Pray, what do you call it?
The light switch.
The light switch.
Yes.
I couldn't buy it then.
Not really. I needed to turn the lights on and off.
Pretty much all of the music is licensed. I was listening to my own music because of the unbearable dialogue, so I didn't notice too much outside of the fact that it was mostly very newer hip-hop heavy. The voice acting is garbage, but some of the actors on here have done good work elsewhere, so I think I attribute that mostly to bad dialogue and bad direction from the director.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
It doesn't really appear to me like Volition's engine has matured that much. It looks more or less like an upscaled PS3 game, very cartoony, very bland and generic, almost like they were aiming visually for the Fortnite crowd, which obviously was not going to work. I know the game's been patched several times since its release, but I still witness the falling through the floor glitch, clipping through objects, texture stretching, the kind of stuff that's been all over Volition titles at least since the original game was released.
You never learn, do you? How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
The gunplay is mostly a throwback to the 2 original games in the series. It's not broken per se, but it just hasn't aged well compared to newer shooters. There's just nothing really spectacular about it or evolutionary either. Same for the car physics. It works okay, but there doesn't seem to have been any real improvements over games they released 15 years ago. As has been the case with so many of these social justice heavy reboots, less focus was placed on modernizing the gameplay to make room for the
Message!
You have side quests you can go do, various challenges and mini-game-like experiences, all managed through your smartphone, which at this point also feels kind of like an also-ran enhancement or experience. We've seen the whole cell phone thing done before and better. The only enjoyment you'll get out of these experiences is from laughing at the broken physics of 2 generations ago being put on display here. It makes everything that happens in every Fast and the Furious movie after Tokyo Drift look realistic by comparison. I'm not going to beat around the bush here or stretch this out any farther than it has to. This game is insufferable for anyone older than 30 or anyone of the Gen Z generation who is also getting sick of all this bullshit. Every second of it made me want to throw down the controller and go outside to scream at some clouds. By the time the game was released, Volition was owned by Embracer Group. A year after that, Volition no longer existed. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Saints Row 2022 gets a 1 out of 7.
What the hell is this? Get off my